The Whispering Baobab. In the heart of the Mbulu Plains stood an ancient baobab tree, gnarled and massive, its roots twisting into the earth like the fingers of a buried giant. The villagers of Kiharo had long feared it, whispering tales of its dark past. They called it the Whispering Baobab. For when the wind rustled its leaves at night, it spoke names of those who would soon die. Few dared approach the tree, especially after sunset. The elders told stories of how the tree had been cursed by a dying elder many generations ago. He had been betrayed, left to die beneath its shade, and with his last breath he vowed that his spirit would linger, warning the village of imminent death. From that day on, the tree whispered, and every name it spoke was met with an untimely demise. Nia, a young woman of the village, never believed in the legend. She was skeptical of the superstitions that bound her people in fear. But when her brother, Kamau, was found lifeless near the tree after his name was heard in the whispers, doubt began to gnaw at her certainty. Kamau had been strong, healthy. His death made no sense. Grief-stricken but determined, Nia decided to uncover the truth. Under the cover of darkness, she walked to the baobab. The villagers had tried to burn it once, she recalled, but the flames had died as if swallowed by the air itself. The tree had endured, untouched by fire or axe. As she neared the towering behemoth, a chill ran through her. The wind picked up, rustling its thick leaves. Then she heard it. A whisper, soft as a sigh, threading through the branches. Nia. Her breath hitched. Her heart pounded against her ribs. It was impossible. It had to be a trick of the wind. But as the whisper came again, clearer this time, dread settled in her bones. The tree had spoken her name. She stumbled back, eyes wide, then turned and ran. The night seemed to stretch endlessly, the path home twisting and unfamiliar. The moment she reached the village, she collapsed into her grandmother's hut, gasping out what had happened. Her grandmother, Mama Oda, studied her with solemn eyes. "You should not have gone there, child." "The tree, it said my name." Mama Oda sighed. "Then we must prepare." Nia shook her head. "No, there has to be a way to stop this." The old woman hesitated before speaking. "There was once a man who tried. He sought the tree's secret, but he never returned." Determined, Nia knew she had no choice. If she had only days to live, she would use them to break the curse. At dawn, she set out to find answers. She spoke with the oldest villagers, those who remembered the stories of the baobab's origin. They spoke of the elder's betrayal, of the blood spilled at its roots. A shaman once claimed that to silence the whispers, one must find the bones of the wronged man and set them to rest. But no one knew where the bones lay. Nia had an idea. If the tree was tied to death, perhaps it marked its own victims. She scoured the area around its roots, digging through layers of earth. Hours passed, the sun high in the sky, before her fingers scraped against something hard. A skull, weathered and ancient. Her stomach churned, but she continued, uncovering a skeletal form tangled in the roots. This had to be the elder. His bones had never been laid to rest. As she gathered them, the wind howled through the branches. The tree groaned, the whispers turning to anguished wails. Nia worked faster, wrapping the remains in cloth and carrying them back to the village. That night, the elders held a ceremony. They purified the bones with sacred herbs and prayers, then buried them in consecrated ground. As the last of the soil was placed over the grave, a great silence fell over the village. The tree had stopped whispering. Days passed. Nia lived, and no new names were heard on the wind. The curse was broken. The whispering baobab stood still, its silence heavier than its whispers had ever been.